So today we are going to use your newfound skills at mixing paint to learn how to darken paint colors or create different shades of a color without using black. Because black really swallows up a color and doesn't really darken it, it just makes it look muddy. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick out a primary color that you want to see get darker. And you're going to paint that on one end of these little cards that you have on your table. So I want to see red get darker. So I'm going to take some red paint with a clean brush, paint it onto the rectangle on the far side of the little paper. I don't want it to get on the table, so I'm going to hold it. I will have some scratch paper out for y'all to do this on. That's a lot of paint. Ugh. So this is a good reminder. Be aware of the amount of surface you need to actually cover and really only pick up that amount of paint with your brush so we don't waste it and so your paper doesn't get warped or look wobbly like a Ruffles chip. Okay, there's my red. I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper really quick actually, so I'm working the same way you are. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth to prove to you that you don't need black to darken a color. So the relationship between complementary colors, which Mr. Barber hopefully went over, and if he hasn't, he should pause the video and do so now. The relationship between complementary colors goes deeper than them just being opposite of each other on the color wheel. They also help darken each other. I honestly don't know why. I'm sure there's an answer, but I'm blown away to figure out when I found out that it actually works. So the opposite of red is green. So you're going to want to mix a green on your plate. So go ahead and clean off your brush that had the red on it or whatever color that you were going to see darken. So if you chose to do yellow here, you will be mixing purple. And if you chose to do blue here, you're going to be mixing orange. So you're going to mix the complementary color to the primary color you chose. So I'm doing green, which green, if we recall our color wheel, is more yellow and less blue. So I'm going to put down some yellow, clean my brush. You can see a little red in my yellow because I got excited and didn't clean my brush properly. So as much as it's like, oh, I wish I didn't have to worry about it, you do. And some blue, but not as much blue. Perfect. Make sure it's all mixed again. Remember, pick up all the blue and yellow that are hanging out on the sides. Give me green. Cool. So I'm going to clean off my brush and also put some red on my plate. Okay, there's some red. So I'm wanting to make two shades, one that's darker than this and one that's darker than both of them. So it goes from light to dark to darkest. So I'm going to focus on this medium tone right now. So I'm going to take a little bit of red that I had just put on my plate and put it in a new spot. And I'm going to take a little bit of green. Not all of it, because I want to save some for the other part. And mix it into the red. And wouldn't you know it, ta-da! You have a darker red. This is crazy. This is one of my favorite art hacks that I've ever found that I if you mix a complementary color, it darkens the shade of your color. Now it's lighter here just because I'm using more water, but you can tell that the shade itself, or the color itself, is darker than the red here. Maybe I should mix a little more just so that makes sense. Cool. All right, so now we're going to want to mix a value that's even darker than this one. I'm going to need to make a little more green because I kind of used a lot of it for this one. So yellow. Clean off my brush. Blue. All right, there's a green. I'm gonna mix it with my red. So you'll use more green this time than red, as opposed to this one. Use just a little bit of green. And you have a very dark red. It looks like a dark brick. I need to mix a little more. I'm erring on the side of using very little paint here, which is good. Oops. Did blue first, not yellow. Getting excited. Okay. Making sure to clean my brush off each time though. Always gotta remember that. Green. Okay. Cool. So using the complementary color of your primary color, so in this case, green to red, will allow you to darken red or to create shades of red that are darker without using black. This way you keep the richness of the color without having to compromise anything. Looks great. So Mr. Barber in person will explain how you're going to have a chance to practice this strategy as a table and to be able to use the outcome or the project that you make out of it for the cafeteria. Good job.